We have, pushed the boundaries of the locations we filmed in. We've filmed in places that have never been filmed in before, so we know we're going to be delivering something unique. And there was one place that we filmed which makes up a substantial part of episode 8, where, we needed the universe gods to coalesce in some way to deliver us this location in the way that it would be perfect. And those gods did, and stars aligned, and, there was a sort of 40-60 chance against us that everything would happen right, and it paid off, and it was one of the most mythical experiences of my filming career, and I'm very excited for people to see that. Season 2 is offering up villains, enemies who are intractable and intelligent and fearsome. We're getting further away from, the bestial adversaries of season 1, the Trollocs, however much they are a crucial part of the world of the Wheel of Time. By the end of episode 1, you see Moiraine fighting a Fade, and you know that she's going to do that without the One Power. And then, by the end of episode 2, we're getting to grips with exactly what the Seanchan army is going to mean for our characters in season 2. What their invasion of a small town, the dominance, the havoc they wreak, the way they weaponize the One Power and enslave women who can channel. You realize, okay, this is the Wheel of Time going in a much, much darker and more dangerous direction. I'm also excited for you to meet the Aiel, who's a culture of mystery and honor and incredible fighting, fantastic female warriors who wed themselves to the spear, they say. So that is the marriage most important to them, a sort of marriage of women and war, which is very interesting to me. Many, many things, but to see the growth of our key characters, the maturity developing in the Two Rivers 5, all of that is something that I'm excited for people to see.
The most challenging one for me is always how to juggle extreme emotion with a character that is not that emotional. I knew in episode, shouldn't give that away, but I knew I had a very emotional scene with Moiraine, and scenes, I should say, a couple scenes, and it was tricky trying to get the tone right, and I hope we did. Those are always the hardest things. The most memorable things, like I said before, are these amazing locations, and we were shooting in like olive tree farms and castles in Italy, and we were, they'd taken these sets that they'd built. I'm not going to mention what it was. They'd taken them to this area of Morocco where the tide comes in every 4 hours, and you have to shoot within that window, and you have to get this perfect shot. And we're wrapped up with stunt wires being pulled through the air, and it's megaphones, saying 3, 2, 1, and then we got 20 minutes before the tide washes everyone out, and we got to get the shot right. And just like, that's why I got into this business, is that excitement and making movies. And the Wheel of Time feels like you're making 8 movies, honestly. So it's there's not a lot that's not memorable, to be honest with you.
I think for me there was scenes that I think the scripts are so well written like that. There's something exciting in all the scenes, like, for us, like whether it's for me, whether it's like there's an element of humor, or there's an element of darkness, or there's an element of conflict, or internal struggle with loyalty or identity, or so I would feel that there's always something really challenging and investigative in all the scenes. It's a hard one to say without telling you too much. There was plenty of scenes that I was excited to shoot as well, but I probably just can't describe them,
One scene for me that was like surprisingly challenging was Elayne is a novice at the White Tower and with Egwene, and novices have to do chores, so we're kind of doing all these mundane chores as we're filming, and one day we were mopping the floors, and it was We were so bad at it. We were so bad at mopping these floors. We were just like absolutely terrible. And we were trying to make it look like convincing, but also like trying to deliver this scene. But I think it works overall because we're very distracted as it is. And Elayne as well, she's the daughter heir. She's not particularly well versed with mopping floors. It's definitely something that's very new to her. So it was just quite a funny day, really, of just trying to mop these floors with these Wheel of Time mops that just were really ineffective. So it was just a funny but challenging day.
And yeah, I think it's quite hard not to give stuff away, but I think there were some really challenging moments like that were quite physically demanding, kind of like night shoots and sort of being out in the cold and stuff like that. But I think they've also been moments I look back on that have been that extra bit of effort. Like directors like Thomas have like pushed, you know, for those visuals, and they've been things that I look back on and I think they look amazing. So it's really exciting and was remarkable to work on. But yeah, at the time, very like just like night shoots, cold, wet. So it's physically quite demanding.
The most challenging and remarkable day was one of the locations in Morocco, place nobody shot there before, and the way how we got there, because it was so remote, but it's so such a beautiful location. So we were so happy that we pulled off this shooting day, and it was just amazing, and you can see it on screen, I think. That was the most remarkable day.
Yeah, and I think a lot that particularly, which you will see, it's a fabulous location right at the end of the series. But it's a lot of the Morocco was tough. You know, big battle sequences, big set builds on location, in remote places. So you know, it was tough, but hugely satisfactory when you see it on screen.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a big crew, and we move the crew around those countries. That's a challenge, but you only can make this work with a great team, and we have a great team and a passionate team, and without our crew, we wouldn't have done this.
Personally, I would say the arrival of Lady Suroth is at Atuan's Mill. Is the most exciting day. It was a big build-up to that whole sequence. And then the most challenging day, you have to watch episode 8. You got to watch episode 8. There's an amazing sequence in episode 8. And I'd say that was pretty challenging.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you?
I would say the same. No, honestly, I'd say the same. Like for both of us, because we work so closely with one another, we both have pretty much the same challenges. And so the build up for getting the Shanchan on screen, we didn't have that much time, but the preparation and the amount of testing that I personally had to do for the sold arm to get them right, it took a long time, and so to see them on screen finally and to have that wow factor when you stand back and look at the whole set, it was probably the most, my best day from season 2, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger as we went along, and so I really, once everybody sees the whole season, I think that you'll understand what we're saying. It just gets bigger.
Everyone has a choice. And every choice has a consequence.
I'm bigger than my body.
We didn't defeat the Dark One. We set him free.
I'm meaner than my demons.
No one should have that much power.
I'm bigger than these walls.
Together we face the impossible. But now in our separate corners of the world.
I'm bigger than my body.
Protecting Rand, guiding him, that is the only thing that matters. You can't control him.
You know you have something inside you. Something that calls for blood.
I want to know how to control it.
The last battle's coming.
The whole world will be ours.
If our friends are in trouble, why would they ever stay here? You have no conception of the power they wield.
You can't do this by yourself.
There are many paths to walk through the night.
It's not always the most powerful who write history. It's the ones who survive.
I'm tired of being a spoke in the wheel.
You're not a spoke, boy. You are the water that turns the wheel itself.